original Colt 45. Not the beer in the bottle, but the guts. Wow. It was the most high-quality gun you could get. It was the best machining, the best finish work, the best trigger mechanisms, everything. Oh, this is very cool. Do you know anything about it?
I saw online that if it's real, it could be worth up to $10,000.
No, not up to $10,000.
Okay.
Up to like $500,000.
We start this one off hot, literally. A customer strolls in holding what looks like a toy car, but not just any toy. A 1969 pink rear loader beach bomb Hot Wheel. Rick's jaw drops. That's the holy grail of Hot Wheels, isn't it? The guy smirks. It sure is. The car's mint, surfboard still attached. And then he drops the bomb. He wants $150,000. Rick stares at him like he just ordered a $500 Big Mac. Let me call a friend.
Stars, what do you got there?
The pink 1969 rear load beach bomb.
That's the holy grail of Hot Wheels, isn't it?
It sure is.
What do you want for it? Damn.
A bargain for the rarest of all rare toys.
I have here an etching by Rembrandt.
The big question, is it real?
Based on the heaviness and uniformity of the inks, I really think
Rick's nostalgia kicks in. When I was a kid, Hot Wheels were everything. Camaro, Mustang, you name it. He explains how this prototype version was never sold to the public, only tested. The customer casually adds, "I've got about 6,000 Hot Wheels at home." Rick nearly faints. "You're Hot Wheel crazy." The man nods proudly, and we all know this is about to be a collector showdown.
1969 rear load beach.
That's the holy grail of Hot Wheels, isn't it?
It sure is. It's in mint condition. These are the original surfboards that go with it.
Yeah, that was a ragtop Volkswagen, Volkswagen Transporter. We call it a bus, but technically it's a transporter. I know a lot more about Volkswagens than I do Hot Wheels.
Rick calls his buddy Johnny, the toy expert from Toy Shack. "Johnny, I've got something wild," Rick says. "You better bring gloves." The seller grins, completely confident. It's the only one like it. You can practically feel Rick's nervous energy. If this thing's real, he could buy a new shop with the profit, or a lifetime supply of Hot Wheels.
In my neighborhood, we all had our Hot Wheels. All right, do you know anything about it?
They actually stopped making this variety and made a different variety of the Volkswagen bus.
Okay.
Hence, this was never for sale to the public. That's why it's so valuable.
Okay. Hot Wheels was one of the greatest toys to come out in the late 60s.
Johnny the Toy Shack expert arrives. Rick hands him the Hot Wheel like it's a Fabergé egg. Johnny gasps, "This is the pink rear loader beach bomb." He explains how Matchbox ruled the 60s, but Hot Wheels changed everything. Faster, sleeker, flashier. Only 2 pink ones known to exist, Johnny says. And this is the prototype. Rick's jaw hits the floor. "So it's real?" Johnny nods. 100%.
A guy came in with an extremely rare Hot Wheels car. I know it's worth a lot of money, but I don't know if it's worth over $100,000. I mean, it's a toy car, so I called in Johnny and I'm getting his opinion.
Hey, what's up, Rick?
Oh, pretty good.
Johnny inspects it under a magnifier, describing every flaw and mark. The lettering, the bumpers, the casting, they all match the prototype. This base is different from production models. He pauses, then grins. "This is a legit prototype, Rick. Easily worth $100,000. Rick whistles. "That's one expensive toy." Johnny laughs. "Yeah, but this one changed the entire die-cast industry."
Get here fast enough. This is the rarest and most sought-after Hot Wheel in existence.
All right, so this is legit.
This has changed the industry of collecting Hot Wheels. Nobody thought that anybody could make an impact on Matchbox. Matchbox dominated the die-cast market.
Now comes the big negotiation. Rick's ready to buy, but not to break the bank. The seller opens strong, $150,000. Rick shoots back, $60,000. The seller frowns. Rick bumps it to $65,000. The guy drops to $140,000. They're galaxies apart. Rick goes to $70,000, final offer. The seller shakes his head. "No deal. This is my pink baby," he says. Rick sighs. "Well, thanks for bringing it in." No sale, but a piece of Hot Wheel history just rolled through the shop.
What are you looking for?
This is a different base than the early production ones. So this is definitely the prototype. And there's certain things in the lettering, the bumpers, even like flaws in the casting that are only available to the prototypes in the early productions.
Cut to Corey and Chumlee, who are about to take a detour to space. A woman brings in 2 round Weltron UFO stereos from the 1970s. "They were part of my divorce party," she laughs. Space-age music for a new life. Corey loves the design. Bright white spheres with 8 tracks wax and cassettes, but Chumlee's like, I'm all about digital downloads. Translation, he's never seen one before.
Damn, I don't even touch it. Let me call a friend. He owns a toy shack right down the street. He's a pretty big dealer in toys.
He sure is. I know him.
Okay, so I'm gonna give him a call. You hang out, just guard that thing.
Okay.
The seller wants $3,000 for both stereos. Corey bursts out laughing. They look like they came off a 70s Star Trek set. He tests one. It works, kind of. The sound's as fuzzy as Chumlee's logic. They're cool, Corey admits, but they're novelty. He offers $500. She begs for $600. He refuses. They settle on $550. You beat me down, she sighs. Corey grins. That's my job.
I got him 12 years ago when I had a shagadelic divorce party. And by the way, some of the kids at the party had no idea what these things were. I'm hoping to get $3,000.
They're pretty cool. What can you tell me about it?
Next, we find Chumlee declaring himself an author. Rick's trying to read Sammy Davis Jr.'s memoir, and Chum interrupts. My life would make a better book. Rick groans. You usually write a memoir after you've accomplished something. Chumlee deadpans. There's a war on these streets, Rick. You gotta be careful out there. Rick just stares, silently questioning his life choices.
Very much.
It was cool to see it. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Unfortunately, this is truly my pink baby. I appreciate his offer of $70,000, but in this case, I think this car is worth probably at least $20,000.
Then a new customer arrives with something big, an etching by Rembrandt. She says it's called Rembrandt's mother with her hand on her chest. Rick's instantly intrigued. Rembrandt, huh? That's impressive. She's hoping for $10,000. Rick gives her a history lesson on etching. Wax, acid, copper plates, all that. He explains states, meaning the number of times a plate was reworked. Early states equal more money. The seller's eyes light up. It could be the second state, she says. Rick smiles nervously. Could also be the seventh.
Go on.
Fine, fine. I have here an etching of one of the most famous moms in the world. This is an etching by Rembrandt.
Where did you get this?
I have some awesome friends who decided I was worth it, and they gave it to me for my birthday.
Rick explains how early Rembrandt states can fetch 6 figures. If this is first or second state, his hands touched it. The seller beams, ready to cash in. Rick calls in Brett, his art expert. If anyone can tell us the state, it's Brett. As they wait, Chumlee's still writing his memoir. He tells Rick, "You're the villain in my story." Rick glares. "You'd still be flipping burgers if it wasn't for me." Chumlee grins. And that's chapter 1.
And they would press the paper into it, so the spongy part would go into those valleys and suck the ink off. And you'd pull it off and you'd have that's your etching. The one problem was, though, copper is really, really soft, and when you squish it a lot, you start screwing it. So they could usually only get 100 or so prints off.
Brett arrives to inspect the Rembrandt and instantly nerds out. Rembrandt is the most esteemed printmaker in history, he says. He examines the lines and tonalities. Before Rembrandt, no one captured human expression like this. Then, plot twist, he recognizes it. This is from the Millennium Edition, printed from the original plate, but hundreds of years later. The seller's face drops faster than the stock market.
A lady came in with an etching by Rembrandt that could possibly be his mom. I need to know what state and what the value is of this etching. And if anybody will know, it will be Brett. Oh, Rembrandt.
Fantastic. You don't get much better than Rembrandt.
I agree with you 1,000%.
Brett confirms it's real, but not Rembrandt's handwork. It's pressed from his plate but produced by Park West in the 20th century. Heavy ink, no subtle detail. Translation: it's authentic, but not that authentic. Value? Around $1,500 to $2,000. Rick sighs. The seller forces a smile. I was hoping for 10 grand. Rick offers $800. She declines, deciding to keep it. I'll just hang it on my wall, she says. Still beautiful. Rick agrees. That's one way to enjoy a $2,000 art lesson.
Now, one of the things that's interesting about this particular print, I don't know, did you notice the signature?
Yes, it's dark.
Exactly. The inks are very heavy on this particular print. Now, I'm looking at the plate marks. The plate marks are very clear, so it's definitely an authentic etching.
Yes.
And I do believe it's from the original plate.
Back in the shop, Chumlee's finally finished his memoir. He holds it proudly, the Book of Chum. Rick demands to see it. The old man cackles. You look like that Manson guy on the cover. Rick flips through it. Blank pages. There's nothing in here. Chumlee smirks. You know what they say, Rick. You judge a book by its cover. Rick snaps. That's literally the opposite of the saying.
I give you like $800 for it.
Oh, no, not at all. Because I know they paid over 4 figures for it. Okay.
Well, thanks for bringing it in,
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, according to his expert, my etching says it's a much later state than what I thought.
Chum defends it. It's a working title. Maybe 50 Shades of Chum? Rick groans. The old man just mutters, "Damn shame!" Fade out on Rick shaking his head as Chumlee grins like he just published a masterpiece. No record-breaking sales, but definitely record-breaking nonsense.
That Manson guy.
There's nothing in it.
You know what they say, Rick? You judge a book by its cover, and that's one hell of a cover.
They don't judge books by their cover.
There's gonna be some good content in there too.
And what's the name of this book?
Well, it's a working title right now. Just thinking maybe The Book of Chum.
It all starts with a guy bringing in what he claims is an authentic Civil War drum. The story says it was passed down from a family friend and features 13-star flag symbolism. Rick is intrigued, but something feels off immediately. The drum looks far too decorative and pristine for wartime use. Rick starts wondering whether it's a genuine battlefield relic or simply a fancy parade instrument designed more for show than historical combat action.
I've got a Civil War drum.
Whoa.
I figured it was pretty old.
Yeah, it's a neat piece of American history, but it is really rough on the side.
Don't know how that happened.
This is the 1922 photographer's printing table.
Sweet. This was used to print postcards. Things like that are pretty damn rare and they're pretty expensive.
Rick brings in his trusted history expert, hoping for confirmation. Instead, the expert drops a truth bomb. The drum isn't from the Civil War at all. It's a beautifully crafted late 19th century parade drum. Impressive, but not battle-worn. The seller is visibly crushed. After some firm negotiation, Rick offers $500. The seller hesitates, then agrees. It's not a wartime relic, but it's still a gorgeous antique that finds a new home.
One of the interesting things about snare drums, and this would have been a snare drum, you'd have a head on one side that was just the normal skin, and on the underside of it, you would have the snares running across, and you use those to add to the sound.
Meanwhile, Chumlee announces he's ready to step up and take on security duties. Yes, Chum as security. Naturally, it goes exactly how everyone expects. The old man calls it a disaster waiting to happen. Corey jokes they're guaranteed to get robbed, and Rick threatens to confiscate Chum's imaginary pistol. Chum, however, remains determined, convinced he's the next great protector of the pawn shop, despite having zero qualifications or actual authority in the role.
I'll do it. I'm a badass anyways.
That's an accident waiting to happen, son.
Well, you're not going to do it, are you?
No.
Well, we got to have somebody work the door, and Chumlee's volunteering.
You really gonna let Twiddly D man the door? Having Chumlee work the door is like putting a screen door on a submarine.
Next, Rick and the old man examine a 1922 photographer's printing table, a relic once used for producing postcards. It has antique bulbs, adjustable panels, and classic Red Room vibes. The seller claims he paid $60 for it, but wants up to $10,000. Rick nearly chokes. He offers $350 instead, pointing out limited demand and restoration needs. The seller rejects the offer and walks away, leaving the unusual but unsellable table behind.
This is the 1922 photographer's printing table. Well, all the parts are here, and I think it's got some pretty cool components, especially this hand-blown glass light bulb.
This probably got like one of the smallest filaments I've ever seen in a light bulb. Here, you break it, not me.
Then comes one of the funniest training montages ever. Antoine attempting to teach Chum how to handle security. Chum suggests chokeholds, clubs, and heroic maneuvers straight out of action movies. Antoine just wants him to stay alert, be professional, and avoid terrifying customers. Watching Chum try and fail to act serious tests Antoine's patience to the limit. It's clear Chum loves the fantasy of security work far more than any real responsibilities involved.
Up, Chum.
All right, meet you over there.
Even though it's not from the Civil War, I'm pretty satisfied, with what I'm getting for it, so I can handle $500.
First of all, man, you gotta sit up. We gotta pay, it's attention to detail, bro. Like, sit up. I'm trying to train Chum to run security, but he's not really taking it that serious.
A seller brings in 1946 Royal Riders motorcycle memorabilia, complete with helmet, goggles, and a kidney belt. Rick calls Danny for expertise. Danny explains it's a great example of post-World War II biker culture and could absolutely appeal to collectors. However, it wasn't worn by motorcycle legend Ed Kretz, despite the seller's hopes. Even without celebrity provenance, the outfit still carries strong vintage appeal and represents an early era of American motorcycle enthusiasm.
Yeah, this is the way they used to ride. The The helmet was to keep you warm, it wasn't to protect your head.
I've been in motorcycle accidents, and this wouldn't have been a fun thing to have crashed in.
In my house, and I'd like to get rid of some of them.
So, what can you tell me about it?
Ed Kretz is the founder of Royal Riders Motorcycle Club back in the 40s, and they used to do English trials.
Danny estimates the set's value between $1,200 and $1,500. The seller pushes for $1,500, but Corey negotiates with his classic calm persistence. After some back and forth, they settle at $1,200, giving the seller a solid return and the shop a collectible display piece. Even without direct ties to motorcycle royalty, the Memorabilia still offers great craftsmanship and nostalgic charm, making it a worthwhile acquisition for Rick and the team.
He held, speed records. He was kind of a pioneer in aggressive, competitive motorcycle. The Royal Riders were a pretty significant club because it was really early on. I mean, these guys formed in the 40s, and that's an awfully long time ago to start a motorcycle club.
A man rolls in with a 1652 sixpence coin, hoping to score big. He wants $3,000, but the coin has clearly been through a rough life. Cracked, heavily worn, and officially graded as damaged. Rick explains that flaws dramatically reduce value, then offers $500. The seller's ego takes a noticeable hit, and despite Rick's reasoning, he ultimately declines the offer and walks away disappointed, still holding a very battered piece of currency.
What do we got here?
It's a 1652 sixpence.
Okay.
Rick, this looks like it's run over by a truck.
What do you expect? It's 359 years old. Hoping to get $3,000 for it. We'll see what he offers.
So where did you get this?
Out of the walls of our house in Saugus, Massachusetts.
In classic Chumlee fashion, he tries negotiating at the door with someone bringing in a Middle Eastern sword. Chum throws out a $700 offer like he suddenly has cashier authority. Corey steps in instantly, shutting down the attempt and reminding him security guards do not make deals. Chum protests, but Corey stands firm. The moment perfectly captures why Chum should not and will not be allowed anywhere near actual purchasing decisions at the shop.
Welcome to Gold and Silver. Whoa, hey, what do you got there?
Middle Eastern sword from the late 1800s.
What do you want for it?
About $1,000.
I'll give you $700.
Chumlee.
What?
Security guards don't make deals on the fly. Sir, come on over here. I'll try to help you.
Finally, Rick brings Antoine back for a high-end escort situation. Chumlee is still on his wannabe Secret Service kick, eager to join, sunglasses and all. Rick decides to walk the customer to the car himself, leaving Chum pouting on the sidelines. It's the perfect ending to Chum's short-lived security experiment. Plenty of enthusiasm, zero practicality. The shop survives another day, thanks mostly to Antoine's professionalism and Rick's willingness to step in.
Hey, Pops.
What?
I just bought a watch off a guy for $5,000. I need Antoine to walk him to the car.
Antoine's still out. You got Barney Fife over at the door.
I'll walk him to the car myself.
First through the doors is a guy holding what he swears is a legit Harry Houdini straitjacket. It's for like crazy people, he says cheerfully. Rick isn't laughing, he's sweating with anticipation. This thing looks like it belongs in a haunted asylum or a Metallica album cover. The guy wants $100,000. Rick doesn't say no, but he's definitely gonna call in backup.
Jacket.
For like crazy people kind of straitjacket?
Well, this is not just any straitjacket. This is an original Harry Houdini straitjacket.
Okay, it does look Friday the 13th-ish.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an absolutely priceless piece of Houdini memorabilia.
So where did you get this thing?
This jacket was given to my grandfather.
Before the expert arrives, we get a deep dive into Houdini's wild career, from library escapes and hurricane winds to dangling upside down in death-defying stunts. Rick's eyes are glowing. If this is real, he says, we're talking stacks of cash. But the seller's story has a red flag. Houdini's brother Theo was notorious for selling knockoff Houdini items. The drama builds.
There is out there. The problem is Theo Houdini was notorious for selling things that were supposed to belong to Houdini that didn't belong to Houdini. Do you mind if I have someone check it out?
Love to.
Okay. Let me call a buddy of mine down here. He knows all about this stuff. He'll shed some more light on it, okay?
Next, a customer shows up with a bullhorn speaker from Ebbets Field, the old Brooklyn Dodgers stadium. And this isn't just any speaker. It might have been the one that announced Jackie Robinson's name to the world. Rick nerds out. That's baseball royalty, he says. The seller wants $500, but Rick starts at $200. Here comes the negotiation tango.
hope to get at least $500–600 for it, but I'm not going to walk out the door with less than $350. This is from Ebbets Field in New York.
Okay.
When it was torn down, and I was able to purchase it.
You got any paperwork saying it's from?
Yes, I do. I have a certificate and a listing from auction.
All right.
After a solid back and forth, they settle at $350, and Rick seems content. Probably the only time I'll ever buy a speaker with that much history, he mutters. Honestly, same. The guy walks out pumped for a steak dinner, and I swear that speaker's probably already on Chumlee's DJ table.
Would die to have something like this. It's not something that'll fetch a huge amount of money, but if I can get it for a decent price, there's definitely a market for it. So what do you want to do with it?
I'm looking to sell it.
Okay, and what are you looking to get out of it?
I'm looking for about $500.
I was thinking more like 200 bucks.
And then things get inspirational. A man walks in holding a signed letter from Helen Keller, along with a photo. The letter talks about workplace eye injuries, real heavy stuff. Rick's intrigued, but the signature looks weird, like suspiciously pencil drawn. He doesn't want to get bamboozled, so he calls in his autograph expert, Drew.
I have this Helen Keller letter and picture. Figured I'd get it to somebody that appreciated it a little more than I do.
You can give it to me.
I really have no idea what the value of that letter is. I've looked in a few places and I've seen hundreds to thousands, but you always hope that it's worth more.
But before Drew shows up, Chumlee sets up that old Ebbets speaker inside the store and uses it as a PA system. "Clean up on aisle 5" echoes through the shop. Rick just shakes his head like a man who's made too many poor hiring choices. Honestly, if that speaker lasts the day, it's a miracle.
What are you doing?
I'm setting the speaker.
Any particular reason?
It's the item of the day. All right, I tie some history into the shop and, selling point, dude.
Does it work?
Check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hey, we can use this as a PA system in the store.
Don't.
Drew finally arrives to inspect the Keller letter. He busts out forensic-level handwriting analysis and drops a bomb. Helen Keller actually used a ruler to space her letters. That's how precise she was. And guess what? The letter checks out. It's real. Written in pencil, just like she preferred. Drew confirms. Boom. Certified.
Can't believe my dad put that speaker out here. If the old man gets his hands on it, we're dead.
Earlier, a guy brought in a letter signed by Helen Keller. So I invited my buddy Drew down to take a closer look at the signature. This is what I called you about.
No kidding. I'm with Authentic Autographs Unlimited, and I'm a forensic document examiner.
It may be signed by Helen Keller.
Maybe is right, that's true.
Rick offers $400, the seller counters at $700, and they finally settle at $550. A solid win for everyone, especially for someone who literally pulled this from a charity auction. As Rick says, it's better than letting it collect dust.
Cars were located, so a lot of it was destroyed. So the price has slightly gone up. I would say retail, $150.
Good. Sounds good.
All right, very good.
Thanks a lot.
Good to see you.
You're the best.
Thank you.
It was a good feeling to know that it was real. I was confident that it was, but it's always good to be reassured.
We're back to the big mystery, Houdini's Straitjacket. Rick's expert, Murray the Magician, finally arrives, and this guy is serious. "I've traveled the world doing magic," he says, like a wizard walking into Mordor. He confirms the jacket's from the early 1900s, and it has the stamp from Swanfeld, Houdini's favorite custom jacket maker. The odds? 1 in a million.
And if he's right, that's incredible. But he doesn't have any paperwork, and I'm a little skeptical. So I invited my buddy Murray down to take a closer look.
Good to see you, eh?
Hey,
Rick.
Hey, man, how's it
Right.
going?
I'm a magician. I travel the world doing various magic. I've been in magic over 25 years.
This is what I called you about. This is supposed to be Houdini's Straitjacket.
Wow.
But Murray doesn't stop there. He literally finds a photo of Houdini wearing the exact same jacket in 1915. He counts every rivet, every stitch, and it all matches. "This is the jacket," he announces, and Rick's brain almost explodes. I mean, this is like finding Excalibur at a garage sale.
Folks, I got a lot of stuff on display. I hope you want to spend some money today. Hey, you over there, you break it, you buy it.
Earlier, I invited my buddy Murray down to check out a straitjacket that may have belonged to Harry Houdini.
Now comes the money talk. Murray estimates the jacket could sell for $34,000 to $42,000. Rick offers $25,000, but the seller holds strong at $40,000, eventually saying $30,000 would seal the deal. Rick stays firm. The seller walks. This man just walked away from 25 grand. Rick nearly chases him down in the parking lot.
Double stitch.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's almost like 1 in a million. You know what? This is Houdini's jacket from January 1st, 1915 in
That
St.
is
Louis.
absolutely awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Even in magic history, this is huge.
Before the episode ends, a guy brings in a massive antique Carl Zeiss telescope, hoping for $12,000. Rick nearly chokes. In perfect condition, maybe $2,500. But this one? Beat up and missing parts. The seller's face drops. After some surprisingly civil negotiation, they land at $1,000 $3,000, and Rick plans to restore it.
I really wanted this jacket. I almost feel like running after him in the parking lot right now.
Okay, folks, we got gold watches, we got antiques, we got collectibles. You need to buy something.
Hey, boss, you gotta check this out.
First up, a guy walks in holding what looks like your standard Old West revolver. But no, it's an original Colt single-action army. Rick's face lights up like a kid in a candy store. It's the original Colt 45, he gushes. The seller paid only $25 for it, an insane bargain, yet now wants $5,000. Rick stares at it like he's witnessing a legendary relic destined to rewrite someone's bank account.
Hey, what can I help you with?
Hey, I got this gun and I want to sell it.
Okay. Where did you get it?
I got it from an old man I got 6 guns from, and I think this is the one that's worth the most.
How much did you pay for it?
I gave $25 for it. I'm hoping to sell this gun for $5,000. The minimum I'll take is $4,000 for it.
Rick launches into a mini-western documentary explaining it was nicknamed the Peacemaker. The authentic holster wear suggests it actually lived life on someone's hip. Feeling lucky, Rick skips calling his gun expert and throws down $3,000 in cash on the spot. The seller doesn't hesitate. He grabs the money and bolts for the Vegas Strip faster than someone chasing jackpot lights. Rick watches him go, wondering whether he just scored big.
Antique gun I carry. So what do you want to do with it?
I want to sell it.
And how much do you want for it?
I've been told it's worth around $5,000.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you $2,500.
There's no way.
I mean, if everything checks out, maybe I can get 3 to 4.
I got at least have 4 out of it.
Normally, I'd like to call my buddy Sean in before I buy a gun like this, but he's out of town right now.
Rick finally brings in his gun guru, Sean, who treats the Colt like a sacred artifact. He admires it lovingly, calling it the gun that won the West. Sean confirms the pearl grips are aftermarket editions, but the wear patterns are authentic. This thing lived in a holster, not a display case. Sean's enthusiasm practically radiates, reassuring Rick that the revolver is absolutely the real deal despite the flashy replacement grip panels.
I bought an old Colt 45 for $3,000. Usually I get guns like this checked out before I buy them, but on this one, I took a chance. Now that my buddy Sean is back in town, he's coming down to take a look.
What's going on, Rick?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, look what I bought.
On occasion, Rick calls me in. He's bought something that I wasn't available to help him out with. He just wanted to make sure before he goes to resell it that he's representing it correctly.
And then it's off to the shooting range. Rick straps in like a Wild West sheriff preparing for a showdown. With 6 shots loaded, cowboy swagger on full display, he raises the Colt 45 and fires. 3 bullets land solid hits. Sean laughs and declares, "I think he's a dead bad guy." Rick walks away from the target grinning proudly, looking like Clint Eastwood's younger cousin, proving he's got the same gunslinger energy.
My buddy Sean said it's safe to shoot, so we're headed out to the gun range to see what it will do.
So who's going to shoot the bad guy?
I am. I'm the only one that the holster will fit.
Rick was really lucky to have bought a really nice antique single-action Colt. This is the cowboy gun to have.
Suddenly, a 1950s Benz scooter rolls in and Corey perks up instantly. "Oh sweet, a Benz," he says, before realizing it's not Mercedes but a German Vespa imitator. Still, it's quirky, rare, and undeniably cool. The seller wants $2,000, but Corey offers $800 instead. The standoff begins as both men size each other up, trying to decide whether this vintage scooter is a hidden gem or simply stylish mid-century oddity.
I really want to try to get $2,000 if I can.
Where'd you find this thing?
I bought this at a flea market. There were about 50 pickers, and everybody wanted this scooter.
All you pickers think alike, huh?
I guess we do.
Benz. It was made by one of the designers of Volkswagen.
After haggling like it's a holiday blowout sale, Corey bumps the offer to $1,075, but not before performing a compression test with dramatic precision, as if auditioning for a mechanical Olympics. The scooter passes the test, and the seller happily accepts the deal. Considering he originally paid $650, walking out with over $1,000 feels like a smooth victory, certainly smoother than the scooter's probable ride.
Up and drive it without having new cables put on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'd want to do on a almost 70-year-old scooter. This scooter is awesome. It has a cool 50s style that people just love. But since most people haven't heard of a Benz, it probably won't sell like a pricey vintage collectible one.
Then the episode swerves into history. A man brings in World War II photographs showing a Japanese Zero fighter that crash landed in Alaska. Rick is stunned. "How have I never heard of this?" he mutters. The seller explains it was the first Zero captured by American forces. Rick plays it wisely and calls in Mark, the shop's go-to historian, wanting solid confirmation before even thinking about handing over cash for something potentially monumental.
2 photos. It was the first Japanese Zero that they ever shot down.
Wow.
It was actually over the Aleutians.
A Japanese Zero getting shot down in the Aleutians, okay, which is part of Alaska.
It's not really the Pacific Theater, is it?
How is it I never heard of this? I'm a big history buff, so it's
Mark arrives and confirms the photos capture real history. The plane crashed during a failed Japanese diversion meant to distract from the Battle of Midway. The crash allowed the U.S. to reverse engineer the Zero, giving American pilots a major technical advantage. However, the photos aren't rare. They were widely reproduced. Mark says they're not rare, but they're real. Rick offers $200. The seller groans, but eventually accepts the practical offer.
At the same time, this was shot down. There's actually a picture of this plane trailing oil going over Dutch Harbor. These men were brought in to salvage this plane. This was the first Zero that we were able to bring back to the States and get back into flying shape, and that was important.
Then enters a man carrying what appears to be an alien-themed crystal skull carved from tiger's eye gemstone. He explains that collecting 13 skulls and standing among them supposedly summons cosmic energy. The old man doesn't blink, treating it like a normal Tuesday. "We'll buy it if it's priced right," he mutters. The skull is glossy, heavy, and oddly mesmerizing, strange enough to intrigue the shop without crossing into outright science fiction territory.
all right, $250. All right, let's go write them up.
Okay. I settled on $250. It's not what I wanted to get for them, but sometimes you just got to cut your losses, and breaking even's not always the worst thing in the world.
What you got here?
That's a tiger's eye gemstone skull.
Awesome.
And I've heard if you get 13 of them, put them in a circle.
The skull is undeniably cool. Smooth finish, rich golden brown sparkle, and just the right amount of unsettling charm. The seller wants $200, but the old man dismissively calls it a paperweight. The negotiation becomes a good-natured roast session until both sides settle at $140. Corey jokes that if it doesn't sell, they'll wrap it as the old man's Christmas present. Nothing says festive like a spooky gemstone head.
Eye gemstone, basically an iron ore, and it used to be made into jewelry.
Tiger eye is fairly soft.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is if you move it around in the light, it has like a silky luster about it.
That's what they call chatoyancy.
Okay, yeah, it has a nice chatoyancy.
Okay, right, Chumlee.
Back to the famous Colt 45. Rick anxiously asks Sean whether his $3,000 gamble was a mistake. Sean smiles and reassures him it's worth at least $5,000, possibly more. Rick beams like he just pulled off a heist. Sean warns him not to restore anything, insisting it should be sold exactly as found. Rick nods, but deep down he clearly wants to shoot it again before ever letting it leave his hands.
I mean, somebody may be a little upset that, oh, there's a crack here, you know. Look, it's been there, it did that. These were working man's guns. This was the only protection you had. It's not like you could pick up your cell phone and call 911. This was 911 back in the day.
Just when things seem normal again, a man walks in holding Elvis Presley's medical records, x-rays, EKGs, everything. Rick flips through them, muttering, "I can see why he had a heart attack." The seller claims he found them in a dumpster, which raises more questions than answers. It's a bizarre find, and though fascinating, it's also precarious memorabilia that could easily be faked, stolen, or completely unverifiable in any meaningful way.
Hey, how can I help you?
I have Elvis Presley's medical records.
That's definitely different.
These are Elvis Presley EKGs.
Looks like Elvis suffered from too many deep-fried peanut butter sandwiches.
Doctor, that may be the right diagnosis. I don't know.
Around $50,000. I'd probably go as low as $40,000, but not much lower than that.
The seller wants $50,000 for the king's medical documents. Rick shuts that down hard. There's no signature, no authentication, could sell for hundreds or nothing, he warns. Buying questionable medical records for the price of a luxury car is not on Rick's agenda today. The man walks out disappointed, leaving behind one of the strangest items the shop has ever turned away. Elvis has left the building. Again.
No. And, you know, it's just, I think, historically interesting, probably very difficult to value.
Yeah, very difficult to value. Elvis collectors will buy just about anything he touched, but I've never seen anything like this before. How much were you looking to sell it for?
I was looking for about $45,000 to $50,000 for the whole package.